These clowns from the Midwest, from the Motor City, as it were.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, no, I know.
Heard of them.
So they made this album about plants and botany.
The Insane Clown Botanist? ICB?
Insane Clown Botany. No, so I gotta tell you, I actually feel bad because here's the thing. Do me a favor and pull up the. No, of course. So Yum Bedlam, not even that, because I actually remember the album well enough.
And this was the last gasp of them with the whole machine working.
Yeah. No, listen, let me tell you something. The Drunk and the Addict.
Oh, they put it on Front Street,
that was a song where Jay rapping like that, especially, like, again, you know me. I really genuinely do my best not to peek my head any more behind the curtain than I already have.
Right. Well, the thing is, they put it on Front Street. There's no peeking behind the curtain.
You're
about
missing my point.
interviews.
But again, like I said, for the fact that Lainey started this album, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was, because she was, I feel like a lot of people don't recognize how respected she was in her field and what she did.
Right.
Like when Lil Nas X set the whole world on fire for fucking lap dancing the devil, she was the one who fucking made that devil.
You know,
this album genuinely is an album where it's funny that it didn't hit a lot of the same Joker's card marks that some other albums have. Most of them, I guess. But it was absolutely one of the most raw and real albums that they ever made.
I think what threw people a lot besides
that flower, I love that song.
I think what threw people a lot besides them being pragmatic with the overhead by outsourcing a Juggalo artist so that they can use them for his beat tags. Sorry to peek behind the curtain, but I imagine that's exactly what happened.
Well, no, listen, okay, here's the problem. It makes me sad just because you and I are both involved and jaded enough at this point that
and have worked for Psychopathic for free.
Well, no, but here's the problem, bro.
On different levels.
But bro, you need
and
to
a lot of people out there.
No, bro, Shaggy furloughed that into genuine success.
No, if you can parlay it, then that's why you can't knock
not
them,
everybody has.
No, hey, that's the thing.
So fuck whether guess what? Yes, maybe you got the albums for free.
I'm not hating.
Supposedly, you want to talk about peeking behind the curtain? Shaggy supposedly has to give Jay a ton of fucking free merch.
I'm not.
So there, I don't know how much he loves to do that.
I'm not being mad. It's just like what we're talking about. It was the first time it was all on Front Street. Like, wow. Because people who've been involved,
Red Fred was absolutely a peek behind the curtain.
Nah, this was the one. I'm telling you, dude. Because this was the streaming era. We're talking about girlfriends all the time, and this is the one where it was like, now the curtain's down. We're all on social media.
Now that I agree with. I personally, the reason why I love this album, because this one was not skit heavy. As a matter of fact, 0 skits. However, the way that, I'm going to tell you right now, there are 3 songs on this album. Actually, you know what? I take it back. There are 4 songs specifically on this album that solidified it for me to the point where anything about the rest of the album, I was able to overlook. First of all, Here Comes the Carnival. The fact that they don't do that at every single gathering just proves that they're like, fuck it, we'll do whatever. They'll be happy with it. Because if they did that at the jukebox set however long ago, and that, bro, it's like, what a fucking experience when that's how you feel about it. And like when you're a Juggalo is essentially what I mean. Because again, that song is fucking mwah. And it is the gathering. It's perfect. Now, it really is just, I don't know if Mike Clark did that one or who made that beat, but it's just, you can tell that beat was the one that wasn't made by Devereaux and Shaggy. Because they make good beats, but they make beats of a very specific kind. Mm-hmm. Fucking, Here Comes the Carnival was much more, like, it felt much more like a cinematic beat, which is a lot of what they do.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, that's also why I'm saying one of the things that made this album so different was the fact that a lot of these beats, they left the producer tags on them, which, by the way, I personally think ICP did that on purpose because they realized that at the time when it came out, that's what everybody's doing. And I'm going to tell you something. I remember, and it was right up there at that table, when this album came out, that my one of my children, who was living there at the time, I put on Clown Drippin'. I was watching the video. And the video was done by Shinobi Squad, which was like basically a pretty well-known video squad like in the music industry. And so I was just listening to it, watching it, and I'm not gonna lie, I do like that song. But at the time, it just, for whatever reason, it hadn't reached over and I didn't really get why it was dope. And then this is one of my kids, this was the oldest, and she was like, oh wow, this is really catchy, this is good. And I was over here like, ICP just released this album. It's the 5th of their second deck. This is a 13-year-old kid. And she's like, oh, this is catchy, I like this. How the fuck? And then, because we're going to get into this with a knot too, but the same thing. I look at these albums of, if you are trying to say that the second deck is garbage, bro, I'm sorry that you just don't have good taste in music, I guess.
Right.
Because the one thing that I did notice about the second deck was that they...
hip to whatever the current sound
is.
is.
Well, no, but that's true. But also that, think about it, from Mighty Death Pop, heard it from a friend who... How the fuck did ICP do... fucking heard it from a friend?
Right.
That's insane. And the thing is, they do shit like that all the time. Case in point, I only found out like a year or two ago that Mighty Death Pop was a fucking sample. When the Mighty Death Pop, everything stopped. I didn't know that was fucking...
Yeah, that's Hot Chocolate.
Yeah, exactly.
Hot Chocolate. I mean, Hot Chocolate. Well, the Ohio Players, one or the other. Those bands are...
By the way, this is exactly my point, is that ICP not only stays on the cutting edge all the time, but they are always making... Like, listen, the fucking... On Yum Yum, Heart and Soul is a good example of this. I didn't love Something to See, but I do love what they were saying with it. And I do like, I will listen to it when it plays, because like the last line that he says is my son and daughter hugging each other or something like that. I'm trying not to fucking get emotional now thinking about that. Like, that's the whole thing with ICP that really fucking bugs me, where I think that not a lot of people, it's one of these kinds of bands where they do make shit where the beats are great and it's like bouncy and it's really energetic, but they'll end up saying some shit sometimes where it's like, blow, right in your fucking chest. And it's like, yeah, sit with that for a minute. How do you feel?
Yeah, I like Insomnia a lot.
Oh, no. Insomniac, I'm going to tell you. Because like I said, there are 4 songs on this album that set it apart as a genuine classic to me. Like, Bang Pow Boom was an amazing album back to front. I think that it was, like, we discussed that at length. But In Your Face, that's the classic from that album. The classic from this album, if it's not Here Comes the Carnival, it is fucking... well, okay, you want to know what? Maybe my numbers are off on this one. No, I think it is Here Comes the Carnival. But no, Fuck Regret is... I'll tell a story about it in a minute. But Wretched was fire.
Yeah.
That's another one where I actually don't remember the... this is one of the 4 songs I was talking about, but I don't remember the Say a Prayer for Me. That comes from something, I just don't know what. I saw somebody commenting about it, but the lyrics in that song are really good. Jay's lyrics on this album the whole way through are really fucking dope. And I think something that a lot of people that, you want to know what? Heart and Soul, it is good. I didn't love it, but so, no, you know what it is? No, I think Ain't No Time is the one that I didn't like. Heart and Soul actually is good. But so, no, listen, this album was, first and foremost, I'm surprised that I didn't get to this point already, but this is a breakup album. The whole thing is a breakup album.
Right.
And fucking, is it... Oh wait, no, I'm so wrong. Ain't No Time is, that actually is a really, really crucial song. Because I actually can remember, just at a time in my life where, there's a line in that song where, right now, living as enemies, the love is dead and gone. Never thought I'd think from time to time, I hope you end up missing.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this before. I might have even brought it up on the podcast before, but it's like knowing what he's talking about in that song and knowing what he's like trying to say about the situation is like, I just feel that's so hard, because when you're in a situation, because I mean, listen, Eminem already made it a point that you can say, I want to kill my fucking wife because she's awful, but I want to kill my kid's mother on a song, and it's like, you're not being all that crazy or whatever. It's not like he lost his kid for being able to do that. But the whole thing is, I look at something like that, and the idea of, I hope you end up missing, like, I understand that at a fundamental level, because the idea of, if you had something to do with the disappearance of your kid's mother, you would know that, and it would affect the way that you are with them, and if they ever found out, more than likely, that's you're done. But if something happened to them that had nothing to do with you, that maybe you hoped would happen, but didn't actually happen, but didn't actually, you were part of it, it's like, now suddenly I'm not. No, bro. Listen, seriously. I know that this sounds funny. If you had kids, I think, or I had kids and then had like a really horrific, contentious situation.
No, I know.
Like,
it's just like because it's the ultimate, like, you know.
Well, no, bro. You have to understand. This is something that I'm
scot free. You don't have
It's
to.
not
worry
about. Well,
it,
no,
yeah.
but again, it's not scot free because fuck scot free. I'll go to fucking prison for it. I don't want my kids to hate me.
Right. Yeah, true, definitely,
Like,
yeah.
Well, no, I mean, again, I'm sorry that maybe I presented it in the wrong way, but like, this is some shit that like has like, I don't know, either kept me up at night or helped me sleep, one or the other. Like,
well, that was what I was thinking about ICP's music in general. Like, I was only able to really listen to this album once, and then I started getting like emotional because sometimes the poison is the cure, especially with Juggalo culture. And like
that's a fact.
You know, sometimes like I was listening to it and like I didn't have a great, you know, marriage and, you know, friendships and people dying and all kinds of shit. So
well,
like,
and bro, again, this is exactly what I'm saying. Where this album was such a good representation of just what Juggalo culture has become, both for the family and also for them, because this, I think, is when it started to be more pronounced that Shaggy is more well put together now, and that Jay is really struggling. Where Jay has always struggled. It's always been very open about that.
Yeah.
But Shaggy used to be 3 sheets to the wind fucking madman at all times, and now he's still a madman, but he's like reserved. He's a family man, he's a father, he's got his wife, and I mean, Renee, bless and keep her soul, she clearly, whatever it was about her that made him fall in love with her, she keeps this man in line. Well, no, because the reality is that every really great man needs a woman in some capacity near him to be able to, because if you're the kind of guy that will not listen to any woman, even a woman close to you, then you're probably going to fucking steer yourself into something stupid.
You know, I think the reason why, because as I'm listening to this is all true,
right.
And like I'm obviously up to date, like to this. Maybe not every single thing in the Juggalo world, but like the fact that Shaggy's wife is highly known in the community, like it's such a parasocial thing now. That's why a lot of people who are older are kind of turned off, because it's like, oh, you're not plugged in if you don't know who, you know.
Here's the thing. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, but it's the truth.
No, listen.
There is an objective truth to that.
Well, no, but listen, I think you're right, but I also think the younger generations. Are you waiting for something?